My travels to South Africa have always been filled with thrilling adventure, stunning scenery, and the bounty of the land. I've seen the incredible beauty of this country's Western Cape. So this time, I ventured to see more. In this three-part adventure, I explore South Africa's East Coast. From its sprawling cities, peaceful riverside retreats, to its sunny beaches and magnificent cliffs. I dig up precious discoveries and have close encounters with the most spectacular wildlife. Get ready to be captivated by South Africa once again. South Africa is as large as it is diverse. Each of its 9 provinces offers a variety of landscapes, cultures, and experiences. In this first part of my journey, I will explore the multicultural city of Durban, take a leap at Oribi Gorge, boat through the Omangazi River, before making my way to the breathtaking cliffs of Coffee Bay. In the province of KwaZulu-Natal is the port city of Durban. Sighted by explorer Vasco da Gama on Christmas Day, 1497, he named the area Natal, or Jesus' birth in Portuguese. In the 1800s, the British established a settlement here. Befriending the powerful Zulu king Shaka, the British were gifted a 25-mile piece of the coastline from the Zulus. The area is now called Durban. A drive through downtown Durban gives you a glimpse of a unique city, where the complex mix of Zulu, Indian, and British influences survive. The Durban City Hall is almost an exact copy of the City Hall found in Belfast, Northern Ireland. This area is the homeland of the Zulu people, the largest ethnic group in South Africa. They were a mighty warrior nation, and in the 19th century, a great powerful kingdom led by King Shaka. His mind for military tactics and weaponry allowed them to defeat the British in 1879. Today, the colorful Zulu culture can be seen in the songs and dances of the people. With high leg kicks and drums, this was once a battle cry that echoes through the ages. At the end of the 19th century, the British established a large sugarcane industry in Durban. Unable to get Zulu workers, they brought thousands of laborers from India. Today, Durban has the largest Indian population outside of India.
This is the Victoria Market. You can buy almost anything in this area, from animal hides, jewelries, any local product, and especially Indian spices.
Very briefly, curry is not one spice, it's a mixture.
Oh, yes.
It's a mixture. But curry is mixed with coriander.
Of course.
We call that dhania. Then we have cumin. We call that jeera.
Jeera, okay.
Yeah, jeera. It's cumin seeds.
It was amazing to get a crash course on Indian spices, while in the heart of South Africa.
Chili, the hot one.
Oh.
Piri piri, that's mamma mia. That's the really hot one. That's the one you give your mother-in-law.
Okay.
Okay, it's called the murder-in-law mix. Okay.
Before I get into trouble with these potent mixtures, I decided to head for the coast.
This is the North Beach of Durban, and over there is the Indian Ocean. They say the water in this area is very hot and warm, and a place for them to go surfing.
A walk on the waterfront promenade, or Golden Mile, gives you plenty to see.
Well, these rickshaws are quite common here.
Durban is the only place in South Africa where you will find these ornately decorated rickshaws. Further along the coast, you will find a unique structure jutting out of the water. This is the Umhlanga Pier, constructed to look like whale bones. This amazing piece of architecture is also a feat of engineering, helping to disperse excess storm water from the land and into the ocean. Whale sightings are a common occurrence in Durban, being along the migratory route of these giants. Today, I check into one of Durban's historic hotels, right in front of Umhlanga Beach. I was welcomed by the elegant, cozy interiors with an amazing view of the Indian Ocean. The Oyster Box has been the custodian of the Umhlanga Lighthouse for many years. A favorite of visiting royalty, the hotel has kept the sophistication and charm of a bygone era, while maintaining its distinct Durban character. But my favorite spot will be past the luxurious pool with its red and white umbrellas, and into the rocky beach where the locals strolled or fished. Here, I savor the breeze from the ocean, and even with a backdrop of a skyline, I was lucky enough to spot a pod of dolphins, happily frolicking in the waves. Durban is indeed a unique place, a jumble of cultures, time periods, the man-made, and the natural. Up next, I continue on my journey along South Africa's east coast, exploring KwaZulu-Natal's spectacular river gorge and perhaps take a leap of faith 165 meters down. From Durban's bustling city and sandy shores, it was time for me to head to the countryside. The drive allowed me to see the raw beauty of South Africa's eastern coast. Verdant, rolling hills characterize the landscape as antelopes grazed on the hillsides. Cutting through the flat sugarcane lands is the magnificent Orbi Gorge. The rocks on its base are over 1 billion years old. The cliffs are made of sandstone, deposited here over 365 million years ago. To get a good view of the gorge, you can cross the 80-meter suspension bridge.
Well, here's the suspension bridge going to the Eagle's Nest, is what they call it. And from here you can see the gorge. It's a good way of seeing the place, for sure.
Suspended 130 meters above the gorge, it can be quite daunting for those afraid of heights. Finally, I made it to the end of the bridge.
Well, this is what they call the Eagle's Nest by the Orbi Gorge. The canyon was built by the river. It's 400 meters deep, and at the widest point, it's 5 kilometers.
It's truly nature's masterpiece.
Nice and interesting, beautiful views. It's a place where you can really appreciate nature.
Not only is the Orbi Gorge a place for quiet communing with nature, I learned that it's also a hotspot for those seeking extreme adventure. Signs of encouragement posted along the path made me wonder what I was signing up for. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it.
Nelson Mandela said that.
He who deliberates fully before taking a step will spend his entire life on one leg. Chinese proverb. When I reached the top, I saw what the signs were for. This is the highest gorge swing in the world, equivalent to jumping from a 55-story building.
Pretty high. I still have to think about this. I think I'm too scared. Yes.
Okay.
So they are saying that unlike a bungee jump, my whole body will be strapped to a harness and not just my ankles. Then, you launch off the edge to a 55-story drop with a speed of 120 kilometers per hour in 2.5 seconds. And people deliberately jump for this? For fun? As this was explained to me, I had already made up my mind.
Forget about what Nelson Mandela said there earlier. Let the cameraman jump.
Yeah.
We managed to convince our cameraman and he became a reluctant human sacrifice.
This is the bravest man
In the team.
Philippines,
Yeah.
and he's representing.
He's just going down the stairs all the way. Are you ready to go?
Thank God I didn't do it.
I think I've had enough thrill for today, just by watching them nosedive into the gorge. From Orby, we traveled further south. From a distance, the sound of the waves beckoned. The landscape has transformed once again. From here on, we are stepping into the region called the Wild Coast. I can't wait for what adventures await me here. Up next, I visit a tranquil riverside retreat with surreal sandbars and amazing wildlife before I get swept away by the stunning landscapes of South Africa's wild coast. From Port Edward to the north to East London in the south, we find South Africa's wild coast. Rugged, untamed, and unexplored. I was very intrigued by this part of South Africa. In this region, many rivers empty into the sea, where sandy bays and open beaches can be found. I made my way to Port St. John's and found myself in such a tranquil setting. I'm staying at the Umangazi River Bungalows, a peaceful retreat located in the mouth of a river. I settled into my cozy, thatched roof bungalow with an amazing view of the water. I then made my way to the dock where I was to meet Kevin, who will take me on a river cruise that morning. Kevin, I learned, was a man of many talents. First, he loved to sing. And on his boat, everyone is expected to be able to carry a tune. We sang and sailed across the serene river, enjoying the scenic views. Amidst the quiet atmosphere, it was clear the displays teemed with bird life. And apparently, there were creatures out there listening out for Kevin's song. With buckets of fish, he calls out to the African fish eagles to feed them. Resembling the bald eagle in North America, the African fish eagles are large birds, with the females having wingspans of up to 8 feet. Its shrill cry is a recognizable sound in the African bush. Swooping over the water, its talons quickly grips the fish Kevin prepared that morning. They are amazing creatures, and I was very happy to see them up close, even with my tone-deaf singing. This hidden place is indeed paradise found. From Omangazi in Port St. John's, we headed further along the coast, reaching the Transkei, homeland of the Xhosa people. We passed by their colorful huts, dotting the landscape. This is South Africa, at its most raw and unbridled form, far from the touristy track. Navigating the unpaved roads on the back of a 4x4, we made our way to a small community called Coffee Bay. Here, looking at the endless coastline, nature reigns supreme and boldly shows off her beauty.
They call this Coffee Bay because in the 1700s, there was a shipwreck filled with coffee. And they said that everything spilled out and almost the whole water here was black. That's why they called it Coffee Bay.
Frothy waves splashed against dramatic rock formations as turquoise waters surrounded the green cliff faces.
So they say that a lot of humpback whales pass this area, and every now and then it's the southern right. Keeping my eyes open, I'd really like to see one.
And there, in the distance, we saw water spouting and fins waving back. What an incredible sight! Coffee Bay has some of the most breathtaking natural formations in the wild coast.
We'll do a little bit of hiking here. It's a bit slippery, but it should be okay. A lot of people go hiking here and enjoy the views and the scenery.
And finally, we reached the magnificent sentry guarding the shores of the Eastern Cape.
This is the hole in the wall, and it is a natural rock formation, which is one of the treasures of the Eastern Cape.
Legend has it that a Xhosa lady fell in love with one of the sea people, and a big fish rammed into this wall to allow them to meet. The magnificent landscape of their homeland has inspired many legends and folklores among the Xhosa people, passed down by oral tradition for generations. Today, I'm visiting one of the homesteads to learn more about the Xhosa culture. The Xhosa are the second largest cultural group in South Africa, after the Zulu-speaking nation. This part of the Eastern Cape has been their homeland since ancient times.
This in front of us is a typical Xhosa homestead. And then to identify a couple of things, this is a rondavel. Normally the design of the rondavel will be mud walls with a thatched roof, which means that's grass. And then now because of class and money, so they buy concrete blocks.
Yes.
So as you can see, the structure now is no longer round.
Yes.
It's got these corners. This is the kraal. This is where they keep the cattle.
Yes.
Back in the day, these guys didn't have the privileges of banking money. So what they did, they'll collect as much cattle, and then that will be your wealth. So when the boys, they turn at the age of 18, they get sent to the forest, or they call the mountain.
Okay.
There, they get groomed, how to become men, how to be responsible, how to be the leaders of the family and the homestead.
Thobela then introduces me to the homestead's traditional healer.
Xhosa people are superstitious, so they're very so they obviously we believe into ancestors being people that died a long time ago.
How does she get the talent, the education for this? Is it passed on through the family?
You don't choose. The ancestors, they will select you and they will choose you. It's different how you start to notice you're the chosen one. You could be already foreseeing people's future and then be able to read.
Yes, yes.
Traditional medicines are taken from the surrounding forest and river. The knowledge of these cures is said to be revealed by the ancestors through dreams.
So do you think the traditional healers will slowly fade away?
No, I don't think so, because the next clinic, or the closest, is 20 kilometers away. So people
would rather see her than
rather
go
see
to a
her than
clinic.
going that, because if anything happens to the kids, they feel sick, they're gonna rush to her, and then they still use traditional healers in the villages.
Did she see if I have a problem when I walk in?
The thing about the traditional healers, they're very honest people. If they don't know how to treat you, they will say.
So I guess I passed my pilot's medical then.
In the afternoons, Coffee Bay shores are bathed in golden light as waves crashed on the rocky outcrops. Rob, a local fisherman, takes me along to his favorite spot facing the Indian Ocean.
One good activity here in Coffee Bay is fishing. I thought I caught one. No. It's cold, but it's good to fish.
Rock fishing is popular in the coast, which is a site of a sardine run at a certain time of the year. Chased by seabirds, dolphins and whales, they bring a lot of marine life into the area. Now, if only I can get my line to catch something.
It's my first time to fish in the rocky area, and it's funny because your weight gets caught in the rocks easily, and the current is very strong, so you don't know if it's the current pulling your weight or is there really a fish pulling your bait.
Rock fishing is not as simple as I thought, but just as I was about to call it a day,
Okay, yahoo! Well, we got one.
finally, thank goodness, I've earned my dinner.
The best thing about fishing is being able to eat your catch by the end of the day. Oh, is this what I caught? I think mine was bigger. Did you replace it? The fish I caught was this big. Thank you very much. This looks very good. Super good. I think I'll just go fishing every day and eat good fish every single day.
In the next part of our South African adventure, we ride across the beautiful coast, learn to surf the tides, and taste amazing new flavors, while finding the most scenic views and the warmest people, before heading to one of Africa's largest game reserves for some of the most memorable wildlife experiences.
This has been your captain, Joy Roa. See you in the next Asian Air Safari.